him, I tell him face to face, I've said it on the show, he went too far left for me often. But it is encouraging to see that in at least 3 places I can think of, he has moved it back to the center. But he's got a long way to go if he wants to do that.
Ma continues to call out the Democrats, warning them that they need to wake up before it's too late. After losing the election last November, the DNC has tried a few times to bounce back. But Ma says their efforts are weak and show the same problems that caused them to lose in the first place. In an interview with Stephen A. Smith, Ma openly criticized his own party, saying the DNC is refusing to face reality. There's a lot to break down here, so let's get started.
The Party is a ghost brand. You know what a ghost brand is? It's like Sears or, General Electric. It's still a company, Abercrombie and Fitch, but they've really fallen on hard times.
Yeah.
But they've been around for a long time. So there is value in, it's an asset, right? Because there are still people who know of the company, and if you could have somebody take it over, who's not sentimental about that company and relaunch it, rebrand it, but it would have to be somebody who is unapologetic about calling them out. People have lost faith in the Democratic Party for very good reason.
Ma says the DNC has become just a shadow of what it used to be. It was once a strong, energetic party that stood up for the poor, the working class, and those who were often ignored. It used to represent fairness and opportunity for everyone. But now, according to Ma, the party looks completely different. He describes it as a confusing battleground of extreme ideas, where people fight to push their own beliefs instead of working together. Instead of bringing people together, it's become a place full of moral posturing and virtue signaling. What's even more surprising is that Ma isn't the only one who thinks this way. Even some well-known Democrats, like Gavin Newsom, have admitted that the party has become toxic and needs serious reform if it wants to regain trust and reconnect with everyday Americans who feel left behind.
You're the only one I hear who doesn't look like he cares what the other Democrats will say about it.
I don't care. And I really don't.
Right,
I
know.
I don't give a damn what they say. I really don't.
I know. And it's somebody, I don't either. I'm right where you are. We're very close on all these things. And I think somebody with that kind of abandon is the only person who is going to win back former Democratic voters who have switched.
Ma says the Democratic Party needs new, energetic leaders who can inspire people the way Trump does for Republicans. He thinks the current leaders don't have the passion or connection needed to reach ordinary voters. Instead, they focus too much on being politically correct and trying to look morally superior, rather than solving real problems. Ma believes this attitude has pushed away many middle-class and moderate voters who used to support the party. He argues that unless Democrats find a leader who understands people's frustrations, brings them together, and challenges extreme ideas within the party, they'll keep losing ground to Republicans, who, whether people like it or not, know how to connect emotionally and culturally with Americans.
Great speaker, very forceful, can be mean, which is really important, and he can do it. He also has the backing, or certainly should, of where the energy is in the Democratic Party, the far left, because, he's been out front on a lot of very liberal issues, which I think is great. Gay marriage here in California and stuff like that, pollution, all sorts of stuff that we believe in.
Ma doesn't mention any real achievements by Gavin Newsom, and that silence says a lot. Even though Ma has often supported Newsom, he can't seem to name anything significant the California governor has done since taking office. Instead, Ma hints that Newsom is strongly supported by the far left. In other words, Newsom has aligned himself with the woke movement, something Ma frequently criticizes. This creates a problem. If even Ma, one of the few liberal voices willing to defend Democrats, isn't comfortable backing Newsom for president, it shows a big disconnect. Ma's message seems clear. The Democratic Party can't rebuild its image or win back average Americans by relying on leaders who represent the same extreme ideas that are pushing voters away, especially not under Newsom's style of politics.
He does have a long trail to lose the baggage of governor of the most liberal state in the country. I tell him face to face, I've said it on the show, he went too far left for me often. But it is encouraging to see that in at least 3 places I can think of, he has moved it back to the center, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to do that.
Ma has finally admitted what many people have believed for a while. Gavin Newsom has moved too far to the left and can't be trusted to lead the country responsibly. This is a big deal coming from Maher, who once defended Newsom as a strong Democratic leader. Maher recalled an episode of Real Time with Bill Maher where he questioned Newsom about California's rule requiring large stores to have a gender-neutral toy section. Instead of giving a clear and logical answer, Newsom responded with a jumble of buzzwords and vague political talk, what Maher jokingly called word salad, along with awkward gestures and fake smiles. For Maher, that moment summed up his frustration. Politicians who care more about pleasing progressive activists than solving real problems faced by everyday Americans. In his eyes, that's not real leadership, it's just political performance.
Lefty can win a national election in this day and age? A presidential election. Do you think that could happen?
Far left, you mean like AOC?
Yes. I'm just whether it's what you said about Newsom, whether it's an AOC. I mean, do you think somebody like that can win a general election for the presidency of the United States in this day and age? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, that's, anything is possible, and possibly it would excite a certain group of people who have not voted. What if 80% of Gen Z voted? Could then a Mondami-like candidate win? I guess so, but I'm not expecting that to happen, and I don't think it's the smart bet for the Democrats. There was an article in the Atlantic this week about, the Democratic leadership keeps saying the Democrats should change course, away from the far left, but they're not doing it.
Ma doesn't believe politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Zoran Mamdani have what it takes to take power back from the Republicans, and he has a point. These figures keep pushing the same far-left, woke ideas that have turned many middle Americans away from the Democratic Party in the first place. Their focus on activism instead of practical solutions has made them popular online, but unpopular with many everyday voters. Ma argues that if Democrats really want to win again, they need to move away from the far-left bubble and support leaders who represent true liberal values, people who care about open-mindedness, reason, and balance more than strict ideology. He believes the party needs leaders who can bring people together, not divide them further. Candidates who can connect with working-class Americans, not just college students and activists. Otherwise, Ma warns, Republicans will keep winning elections while Democrats keep wasting time on symbolic issues like pronouns.
Worried about the left because you should be focusing on trying to win the midterms, and I don't see that happening. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel for the Democratic Party for 2026 or 2028? My last question to you.
I think they can win those elections. I don't think the right, as long as they appear the right, and there is a lot of on the far left, as long as they appear that way to those Republicans, it doesn't matter if they win the election. The right is not going to give up power.
That's exactly Ma's point. He believes the left has lost touch with everyday Americans by focusing too much on extreme or niche social issues, things like saying men can get pregnant or letting biological males compete in women's sports. Most people, he argues, don't spend their day thinking about gender theory or pronouns. What really matters to them are practical issues: the economy, job security, affordable living, border safety, and America's role in the world. These are the concerns that affect their daily lives. Ma has often warned that by putting identity politics ahead of real-world problems, Democrats are driving away the very voters they need to win elections. If the Democratic Party wants a real chance at success, he says, it needs to return to common sense, focusing on real solutions that reflect the values and struggles of ordinary Americans, not the ideals of social media activists.
They are perfectly comfortable with Trump still has not conceded the 2020 election.
Right.
It's, as Stalin said, it's not who wins the most votes, it's who counts the votes. And so if the right still thinks that the left is an existential threat to this country because they want to rewrite all the rules of human nature and then have nobody debate them, I don't think it matters if the Democrats win. The Republicans will just find a way to say, no, actually, that's not going to happen.
That's a fair point. Even years later, Hillary Clinton still claims that Trump's 2016 victory wasn't completely legitimate, something she's repeated in several interviews and speeches. She often blames outside interference or unfair conditions for both sides have had a hard time accepting defeat when things don't go their way. Ma's main point is that democracy only works when everyone, regardless of party, respects the election process and accepts the results. When losing automatically leads to accusations of fraud or conspiracy, people lose trust in the system. Until both parties learn to accept outcomes gracefully and move on, America will stay stuck in a cycle of division, denial, and distrust, slowly weakening its own democracy from within.
You said that Trump wasn't going to walk away easily.
Yeah.
He was going to fight. You called it before anybody else
Yeah.
did. And you've also pointed out that, and Gavin Newsom has now jumped on that bandwagon. They think he's going to try to circumvent the 22nd Amendment, courtesy of Steve Bannon and others, circumvent the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, and he's going to stay after 2028 in some capacity. So all of that is stuff that we can get into at a later date. Bill Maher, host of Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. Man, I love your show. It's the best political show.
And with that, we wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more engaging and thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.